Hi everyone and welcome to topic 2 fraction arithmetic of the GCSE 2022 Maths paper 1. In this video we look at questions associated with fraction arithmetic and how we can achieve full marks on each question. Okay, we have a range of different type of questions and here's the first one. Okay, so this is adding fractions. Okay, so over here we have one fraction and another fraction. Now whenever we're adding or subtracting fractions, what you need to make sure is that the denominators of the fractions are the same, and in this case you can see that they are different. So what you would do is you would multiply one of the fractions or both of the fractions by a number in order to make it the same. Okay, so in this case we can just multiply 5 by 2 to get 10, and we can just bring this one down here. So we have 1/10 add 3 times 2 is 6 and 5 times 2 is 10. Now both of them have the same denominators, so you would do 1 add 6, which is 7, and the denominator stays the same. So 1/10 add 3/5 would get you an answer of 7/10. Okay, so what you need to make sure is that you are dealing with fractions of the same denominator, as you can only subtract or add fractions which have the same denominator. Okay, a subtraction one this time. In this case we need to multiply both of the fractions and we need to choose the lowest common multiple. Okay, so in this case it's 12, so we're going to multiply this by 4 and this by 3, so both the denominators are 12. So 2 times 4 is 8 over 3 times 4 is 12, subtract 1 times 3, which is 3, and 4 times 3, which is 12. Now they both have the same denominator, you can easily subtract them. 8 subtract 3 is 5 and the denominator stays the same, so you have 5/12 as your answer. Okay, and that's worth 2 marks there. Okay, another question. This time we are multiplying. Okay, now I'm gonna go through 2 ways of which we can tackle this question. Okay, so we'll put method 1 and we'll put method 2. Okay, so the first method is the easier method, but it requires more work. Okay, so 3/4 multiplied by 4/9. Okay, so 3/4 multiplied by 4/9. Now whenever you're multiplying, you just need to multiply the numerator and then you need to multiply the denominator. Okay, so 3 times 4 is 12 and then 4 times 9 is 36. Now this answer that you have got over here, the tricky part is you need to simplify this answer. Okay, so you need to simplify this answer. Okay, so you can divide by 12 on both sides. So we're going to divide by 12 on both sides. 12 divided by 12 is 1 and 36 divided by 12 is 4. So we've simplified that to 1/4. Okay, so that's method 1. You can choose that method if you wish, if you know how to simplify fractions easily, but bear in mind that these fractions could be way bigger numbers. For example, you could have 23 over 59 multiplied by 46 over 52. Okay, so you could have big numbers just like that. Okay, but if you feel confident with simplifying, you can use this method. Okay, so let's just get rid of that, and this is the more efficient method of multiplying fractions. So same question, we have 3/4 multiplied by 4/9. Okay, but in this case you need to look at the opposite numbers. Okay, so we have 4 and 4 and we have 3 and 3. Okay, you need to look at which numbers can be simplified. Okay, so we have 4 and 4, both of them go into the 4 times table, and so we can cancel them out. We can divide both of them by 4 and change them to 1. Okay, now 3 and 9, both of them go into the 3 times table, so we can divide both of them by 3. This would become 1, and this would become 3. Sorry, I've just realized there that this number over here shouldn't be a 4, as 36 divided by 12 is 3. Okay, so it should be 3 there, 1/3. And if you know both methods, you can even check your answer like I've done there. Okay, so now we're left with easier numbers. We're left with 1 over 1 multiplied by 1 over 3, and you can just work that out. 1 multiplied by 1 is 1, and 1 multiplied by 3 is 3. And in both cases, as you can see, you have got the same answers. Okay, so in both cases the answer is 1/3. Okay, now dividing fractions. Now when you're dividing fractions, you need to remember one key rule, and that key rule is KFC. Okay, so KFC. The K stands for keep, F stands for flip, and C stands for change. Okay, so let's tackle this question now. So we have 3/5 divided by 3/8. Okay, whenever you're dividing fractions, remember KFC. The first fraction, you need to keep it. You keep the first fraction. Okay, so we're gonna do nothing with this fraction, we're gonna keep it. The next fraction, you will need to flip it, and all flip means is that you switch them around. Okay, so this fraction would become 8 over 3, and then the final step is you change, and you change this divide sign into a multiply sign, and now it's very much easier. So when we're multiplying, we can look for opposites which cancel. 5 and 8, there's no common factor, so we have to leave it like that. 3 and 3, both of them go into the 3 times table, so we can divide both of these numbers by 3. Okay, so we can divide that by 3, divide that by 3, that will be 1, and that will be 1. Now you're left with easier fractions. You're left with 1/5 multiplied by 8 over 1. Okay, now we can just multiply these. 1 multiplied by 8 and 5 multiplied by 1, so that would get you 8/5. Okay, now it does say give your answer as a mixed number, so we would just convert this. There is 1 whole 5, and there will be 3 left over. Okay, so you would do 1 and 3/5 as your final answer. Okay, final question. Now we have a mixed number and we're dividing. Okay, now when you have a mixed number and you're dividing, the best thing is to change the mixed number into an improper fraction. Okay, so change mixed number into improper fraction. Okay, that's what we're gonna do. Now whenever we're changing a number into an improper fraction, we have 1 and 1/6. You do the denominator multiplied by the whole number, and then you add your numerator, and the denominator doesn't change. So this is going to still have a denominator of 6, but we're going to follow this process to find the numerator. So you do 6 multiplied by 1, which is 6, and then you would add 1, which is 7. So our improper fraction is 7 over 6. Okay, an improper fraction is when the numerator is greater in value than the denominator. Now we have changed that into an improper fraction. We can add the rest of the question in. So we have 7/6 divided by 2/3. Now remember our key rule, which is KFC. Okay, you keep the first number, so you keep it, you don't change it, you keep it, you flip the next fraction, so this is going to become 3/2, and then you change your sign into a multiply sign. Now whenever we're multiplying fractions, you look for opposites which can cancel out. So as you can see, 6 and 3 both go in the 3 times table, so we can divide both of them by 3. 6 divided by 3 is 2, and 3 divided by 3 is 1. Okay, now 7 and 2 don't have anything in common, so we would have to keep it like that. Now we have 7/2 multiplied by 1/2. We can just multiply them now, it's much easier for us to do. 7 multiplied by 1 is 7, and 2 multiplied by 2 is 4. Now if we do the simplifying at this stage over here, we won't need to simplify our answer at the end. Okay, and it does say give your answer as a mixed number, so you would do 7 divided by 4. That will leave you with one whole number with 3 as your remainder, and remember your denominator doesn't change, so it's going to be 1 3/4. Okay, and that's going to be your final answer. And that is it for this video. Thanks for watching, I hope you liked it, and one last thing, please subscribe, hit the like button and the notification bell.